emergencies all in place right now. And now that the disasters are here, they've now got the money moving to these areas. Okay, so pretty much everything's in place. And I've clicked on a couple of the links that are in this article. And let's just listen to this real quick.
Is this flooding going to get? For Memphis and north, it's coming down. For Memphis and south, it is still coming up. Let me take you to this town that Ted was just in. There's Carroll, right there. And this is what it looked like before the flood. Green grass, brown dirt, things growing. April 29th, I'm going to drag this across. The water beginning to get outside the banks. There's Carroll, right there, still dry. And all of a sudden, they blew the levee, Wolf, right there. I'm going to pull it across. And all of the water that could spill, would have spilled into this town, was spilled all the way through 130,000 acres of land. And that is the story there of Carroll and all of that controversy. Let's start. I'm just going to back you up 2 months. There was a lot of snow in the Midwest. It was everywhere. Blue a foot deep, purple couple feet deep. All of this snow started to melt. All of this snow started to melt, and then it started to rain. I have to draw this out for you, but you get the idea. This is Arkansas, right there. If you look at the white right there, that's 20 inches of rain or more in a month. In some spots here, purple, 16 inches. Look at the size of this polygon. It goes all the way to Ohio and all the way back into Texas. It rained 12, 16, and there, 20 inches of rain in 1 month. That water had to go somewhere. It got into the Gulf. It will eventually get into the Gulf, but right now it is in the Mississippi River. It will take many days, as you said, where the water bubble is right here, the crest, Memphis, tonight, tomorrow, will begin to go down, and then it goes up as the water comes down. This water has to get into the Gulf of Mexico somehow. By May 23rd, that's when it finally goes to New Orleans. And what they did in New Orleans, and we had the pictures, and I think we still have some of these pictures, as they opened the gates to the Bonnet Carré spillway today, they were taking all of this muddy water, pesticides, fertilizer, oil, sewage, all of this water now going into Lake Pontchartrain. Like they didn't have more problems enough last year with tar balls in Lake Pontchartrain, now they have this muck water that should have just flowed down into the Gulf of Mexico. Now they have it in Lake Pontchartrain. Here is a picture of what this looked like in 2008. It's a bloom of muddy water that comes straight into Lake Pontchartrain rather than going down along the river and then down into the Mississippi here and then down into the Gulf of Mexico. They couldn't risk not opening the spillway. Wolf, if they didn't open the spillway, those levees that you see by Jackson Square would have been 1/2 of a foot higher than the water level. They had to dump this stuff into Lake Pontchartrain, but now the fish are swimming away. There will be an algae bloom probably because of all that pesticide and all those fertilizers. And now we've just made a beautiful lake a mess again. But nothing the Army Corps could do about it. They knew they had to do that to save New Orleans again.
Okay, guys. You know, I've talked about it before. You've got the pesticides, the herbicides, you've got the chemical fertilizers, guys. All these things are poisoning the earth, okay? And as that water flooded down from Cairo, which by the way is an Egyptian name, Cairo, all the way down into that lake down there, it picked up every fertilizer, every chemical fertilizer, all the pesticides, all the herbicides. Guys, it picked up all the manure, it picked up everything and dumped it into that lake, okay? And people get water, drinking water from that lake. They could have easily brought it down to the Gulf of Mexico where it would have diluted itself in that Gulf, but they didn't do that. In fact, none of this had to even occur if they weren't messing around with the weather to start with. Okay, but understand, guys, that the flooding is happening. It is very real, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Here you are, guys, from Cairo down to Louisiana. You can see, I mean, guys, we still got 48 hours left on this low pressure system, not counting the one that's over here. Okay, so you still got a system that's going to come on shore off of the west coast here before too much longer, guys, which will start to push this one over to the east. And you do have a system over here as well, guys. You can't forget about the superstorm that's sitting right out here in the Atlantic Ocean. But I've had several people ask me, well, why are they sending all this rain through Texas? Because, guys, what happens is all of this rain, not down here where they're triggering it, but all this is flowing north and east, guys, and it's going over the Red River. The Red River dumps into the Mississippi. Okay? All of this that is going on in Texas is going to eventually move over to Louisiana, guys. Remember, we still got today and we still got tomorrow that we've got to get through here. Okay? And again, all the stuff in this box here, guys, all the way through here, guys, is, I told you, for 48 to 72 hours is going to be getting rain, including the Great Lakes. They're flooding the Great Lakes as well, guys. Remember, the Great Lakes eventually will be flowing down into the Gulf. Okay? But from Cairo down to Louisiana, you can see that they're triggering more and more storms, guys, and the water's rising again. Now, the guy said that it's going to start to decline from Cairo north. But understand, guys, that the Mississippi River runs along this border, and it will be getting more rain during the next 48 hours. Okay? Now, there's one more thing I want to cover. I'll put the links to those articles and the ESL Perry's channel there. But I also want to cover what was going on in Dallas here. Let's see how much time I got. Not too much, but this went on in Dallas, guys, and they claim that a lightning bolt struck, and then all these transformers started exploding. Here, let me pause it. And this is from Don Kill Illuminati 1, and I'll put his channel down below the video as well. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but you guys can see it's the same spots triggering over and over and over again. Okay, I never saw any lightning other than these lights that show up here. I never saw any lightning in the picture, and I've never seen transformers that exploded over and over again. You know, usually they explode once and they're done. They're finished. They're incomplete. They can no longer put electricity through them. So I don't know what was going on here in Dallas. I do not know. If anybody does know or was in the area or seen the aftermath of this the next day, please let us all know what was going on there, because I don't have a clue. But I do not believe in any way, form, or fashion that these are transformers. Transformers just don't explode over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They explode once and they're done. So, you guys can watch this